We are back again. For those of you who are new, a very warm welcome to the Kings and Queens on YouTube. We are coming to you from Perth, WA, Yildiz readings. I'm a psychic medium as well as the twin flame in union. If you need coaching or you want to tune into your loved one who's passed over, I'm able to do that, as well as if you've got any blockages on your twin flame path. Hi, Jen, my beautiful spiritual friend. How are you? I've been looking at your work on Instagram. I love your work. I did tell you some things are going to change for you, lady. Very interesting what was coming through. Okay, now, as I mentioned in the other videos, I'm tuning into the astrology, and that's because with the eclipses we've had, they're going to directly connect to you in a particular house. You can look at your sun, moon, rising, and Venus, as well as your shadow sign. And those things are going to be areas that are going to directly change in your life. Now, for Pisces, you know, the Cancer energy is very nostalgic. It's also very much connected to the past. You know, it regresses back. It holds on to things forever and ever. At the same time, Capricorn falls in your 11th house. Now, the 5th house for you guys of what's going to be changing over the next 6 to 12 months. The 5th house connects to your romance, birth, children, and luck. Now, you could be relating to things and you could be changing a cycle. So it can be some of those hopes and dreams are relevant. Some of them aren't because we're having Uranus going retrograde. We also are having Jupiter going direct this month. So we're going to have a lot more movement happening in our life. But there's also a transitional state through the moon, so that's coming through. Now, Mercury being direct will find that communication will start coming through a bit more so. But at the same time, you're guided to be very cautious in the shadow aspect of it going direct. You know, still, I would suggest to be careful and read fine print. Also, buying technology and things to that degree, be very careful still. But do what you need to do, but you're going to have a bit more clarity. Now, falling in your 5th house, I'm going to pull cards for this all the way through, and I'm going to do it similar to the last video I did. Now, with your 5th house of romance, birth, and children and luck, your belief from your childhood moving through is changing and evolving. We were ending massive cycles. Now, the eclipse season is, you know, moving into 2020, but we're also moving well and truly. We're taking on that vibration of the age of Aquarius. We're also moving through a stage where we're rewriting those storylines of what we're wanting. Now, it is connected to the people you're linking in with. And it's interesting that it's romance house, you know, and children. Again, that is very Cancer energy. It's, you know, connections in with tribe, connections in with relationships. It can be your work domain, the family orientation aspect of things, and paradigms they're really breaking down. So reflecting on the old versus what the new is, where you are right now. With the 11th house falling for you guys for the Capricorn eclipse, it's your friends, your clubs, your aspirations, and associates. So, and again, that's very relevant, and it's taking on really the energy of what the Capricorn frequency is. It's sort of like banks, companies, work domain, employment, again, contracts, so to speak, but you're looking at it and it's the disclosure. And if you notice on the news, there are themes coming through. There's the hidden that's coming to the surface of things that we've both hidden from ourselves. Can be banks, government bodies, or the way in which we've been reacting to certain things has been changing as well. Now, that's going to be the areas that is going to change and evolve, and you're going to be working towards. So it can be all of a sudden that what you directly link in with versus what you're wanting to link in with now is going to change. And if you're running a business, you may find that the way in which you're running it is going to become different. The people you're mixing with and the way you mix with them is going to be different. You're probably trying to find a work-life balance between, do I have to sacrifice my hopes, my dreams, for my family, my tribe, the other areas of my life? And it's trying to get that perfect balance. Hi, Luciana. I love you. I miss you. You know, can you get that balance between those two areas in order to still be everything to everyone, but everything to yourself at the same time? Now, the Leo energy at the beginning of the month is going to be relevant. Hello, Rebecca, not long now. My lovely sister-in-law is in the house. I was going to interrupt you the other day. I saw your partner at the shop and he kicked me and he said, "You're always on YouTube interrupting my life at home." And my sister-in-law's due for her baby and he had collected some chocolate. So I was joking with my daughter and said, maybe we should just go live in the car park and give her a shout out, basically, that your husband's bringing you chocolate home. But I didn't, because I didn't want to upset him. He would have taken 5 minutes to get home. Now, with Pisces, your 6th house is being activated between now and the 16th. Now, the 6th house covers your work environment, your habit, your routine, and your health. And it's interesting because that's almost the Leo frequency by the end of the month. So you're going to be looking at your love, your romance, your luck, your hopes, your dreams, and getting the strength to get to a point where you're trying to find the balance between all these areas. But a lot of energy might be going into your work at the moment. But you're also looking at what is and what isn't working. Jupiter direct is going to help you take some of that action. You've had the retrograde, in a sense, for that area where Pluto and Saturn have been helping you address these areas. Now you're going to be looking at it and going, okay, like I've been doing this like Groundhog Day and I do love this, but something's got to give. And I do feel you're assessing it to change these things to create this balance in your life, Pisces. And look, it doesn't have to be employment. It can be the things that you're placing your energy into. Aries, with the Aquarian moon, it's you versus others. So you're going to have the meditation time between now and the 16th. By the time you reach the Aquarian moon, Pisces, it falls in your 12th house of your subconscious mind. So this, at a higher degree, it is where you are trusting in source, universe, Gaia, God, Allah. It's also where you're tuning into what you're feeling. With the 12th house, it can be hidden enemies, hidden resources, secrets, subconscious mind. It could be causing some conflict of things that you've hidden versus things other people have hidden. But it's going to relate to you in the connections. And this is a time frame where it's you versus others. So this is the kind of vibe that the Aquarian moon's bringing up. Humpty Dumpty, can it be put back together again? Conflict can come up around this time. And potentially it's already started to. It's been in your subconscious mind already, or in the 3D. Moving towards the Leo energy, you've got the time to assess those domains. Moving towards the Aquarian moon is, okay, you versus these people, places, and things. In your subconscious mind, is there something you can do? Is there something you're intuitively sensing? And it's going to come to the surface. Whatever's going to come to the surface will need to be dealt with. If it can't be by the Virgo moon at the end of the month, what's going to happen is that's your health check. Can it be fixed? Can it be moved? Do you have to give up your spiritual core sense, the 12th house? Which is interesting because I'm looking at the card that's come up and it's very similar to the Aquarian energy, and it's falling in the house of Aquarius for you, Pisces. So it's the same card. The Virgo moon is very black and white, and I call it the judgment. And this is the time frame in which it's going to be acting like Libra, but at the same time, it's going to be acting more very educatedly so. Okay, what's anchored in with reality? What is the black and the white of this scenario? You know, what is the evidence-based scenarios of, I thought about it at the beginning of the month and I did some internal work. I assessed like a fly on the wall. I moved into the frequency of Aquarius. I took on that vibration in my conscious mind, and I had to think of all these things, trust my intuition, build that healthy relationship with it. How do I feel about it now? And is this person coming to the table? It doesn't have to be a person, although romance for you is highlighted, as well as your work, as well as your hopes and dreams. So can you bring this all together? Can you work with these people, places, and things to do that? Or do we need to end cycles so that we can move forward into 2020 in a light body frequency without so much baggage? You know, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. But if we don't resolve some of these things with these Cancer Capricorn energies of the eclipse, it's going to come up again at the end of the year. And that's why I'm mentioning it now, because these are the areas that are going to be problematic or be building towards for you by the end of the year. Now, the Virgo moon is where you will want to get into light body frequency. You will need to actually check your diet. You'll want to be checking your diet. Your diet will be changing. You also will want to get more grounded. You may want to go into hermit mode. You might need to nurture yourself and feel those emotions of what's come up, be it at a happy sense or a very depleted emotional sense of ending one chapter and, you know, starting a new one. So I've pulled the cards for this area, and I'm also going to pull some cards for how the males of this zodiac sign, Pisces, are going to deal with this through each moon. And then I'm going to pull the romance energy in the middle for how romance is going, be it your soulmates or twin flames, if you're in the connection or you're not. And you'll know how this energy directly relates to you. Okay, so for the males, they have the Page of Wands in reverse. They may be focusing more so on what is going on, feeling quite scattered, feeling quite flighty. But it's also the energy of the sixth house being impacted. Now, the sixth house is your work environment, your habit, your routine, your health. They may feel really off kilter and letting other people really get to them, agitated, because it's not so much the people, places, and things. It's something's out of balance. So they're going to get the psychic download about this. By the Aquarian moon, where you actually have the time, males that are Pisces, you may be quite in your Aries energy, okay? Now, I'm going to have to check what house. Aries is your second house, and the second house for you with your wounds is to do with what's yours is yours, but it's land, possessions, material value. There could be conflict coming up in that area, you know, of shared resources, okay? But at the same time, it could be a business you're working on and, you know, directly working with these things, but you're needing to get it to a healthy state. But you're emotionally becoming depleted due to something that is unmanageable. Something's got to give. The Aquarian moon is going to help you look at these goals and say, are they attainable? Yes, you started from scratch. Yes, you're self-made. Yes, you can create these things. But again, this is interesting. It's a 7 because 7 is a very spiritual card. Hi, Amanda. 7 is a very spiritual card. It can also be linked in with your manifestation of finances. But again, it's like using your mind to create, using guts over steel. That's what I'm hearing. Can this be fixed? Now, regardless of what you created, can you now both create something together? It may be that you're feeling slightly protective, but I do feel, follow your intuition. If you feel somebody is manipulating you, you may be speaking your truth off your intuition of what's coming up. If you feel something's out of balance, again, being in the 12th house, you know something's up and it's going to need to be dealt with. Try not to sweep it under the carpet. I'm not saying go out and have an argument, but if it needs to be talked about, it might be a pain body experience you experienced where you had to move through adversity, and in your conscious mind, you understand there's a process and a method to the madness. And you may be allowing certain things to go by the wayside, but it might be coming to a head where some things need to be addressed. So, you know, there could be an egoic point here with male energies by the Aquarian moon. By the Virgo energy, where the healing is going to be coming in, the balance, and what do we do from here? Have we made a judgment? Are we proceeding forward? There can be a celebration. So it can be very positive, providing the alignment is correct. The female energies that are Pisces in the first transit of the Leo moon through to the 16th, you might feel you really need to meditate and not proceed forward. You might feel that there has been a delay on some of these fresh starts, and it can be very frustrating. You might feel regret that you didn't use your wisdom or your spirituality in a correct sense, or your finances. However this be, you might be doing a lot of meditation. By the time you reach the Aquarian moon, you could be very focused on your finances. Now, it could be either you or another person, and spiritually you have these bright ideas, but And I'm feeling this to be quite a positive card. It might be on the work domain if you guys have been having conflict with work and love and trying to balance things. I feel you guys are going to come up with a bright idea. But it's worth it because it's falling in your 12th house, right? By the stage you merge into the Virgo frequency where you're needing to recover, you could feel very stagnant or very frustrated that if you're doing things for people, places, and things, but not for self, and this is advice, you will get sick of doing that. So the Virgo energy is going to help you move out of that stagnant frequency. Now, in your love domain, in the first week, you know, you're having faith in the transformation of this scenario. There is healing going on between both counterparts, male and female. In between you, there is regret, obviously, for past situations, and this is the Aquarian moon is going to bring these things up. Yes, we can't turn time back, but we can proceed forward and we can fill our cup. And both individuals are having to deal with the empty energies of what is fulfilling and what isn't in their life, and then filling them to a point where they're grasping where the tools are within our hands, not what the past is. What's breaking is meant to break. Please trust that. Try not to get triggered. It doesn't mean it's going, it just means it's going to be different. The feminine is wanting to balance themselves, okay? And I do feel in general, between now and the end of this transit, that you're wanting to really balance things out. Okay. The masculine energy, the male in this connection, be it with them or not, they're laughing at their demons. They're realizing some things have come up for them. The female energy are facing their enemies and things that are holding them back. So whatever is the conflict in it, you're directly, it seems more, and I'm seeing throat chakra coming through. It's like you're needing to express to people healthy boundaries. It's like, look, I understand where you're coming from. I understand your pain, body experience, your fear-based frequency, whatever's going on. This could be at work, this could be in your romance, this could be wherever. You will know how it relates. And it's on your side of the fence. And this can even be to your counterpart. However this relates, you know how this relates. You will need to express it to end that cycle. 12th house, all the way through to the Virgo energy for your health. The male energy is getting that they're allowing, it's a belief system, again, which is 12th house, what the block is. And they're amused because they've had an aha moment. Both of you are in a reassessment state due to a pain body experience. Whatever's coming up was meant to come up because it's realigning it. Both of you are going to make the necessary sacrifices. Both of you potentially had to make necessary sacrifices to survive. But now that's changing because you're wanting to get into the happier vibration of the Virgo moon of expressing your joy. And while you're doing things or entertaining people, places, and things that don't resonate with you any longer, this won't be possible. So this shift energetically this month is to get that to you because you were asking the universe for a better frequency and it's attempting to give it to you, but it's looking a little bit ugly first. Does that make sense? You know, our ego tells us, but, you know, this shooting star, I wished upon it, and this, I wanted X, Y, and Z. But our bullet, we don't understand that some of these have a process to heal. It doesn't happen right away. It does happen, and it's already started. And this Cancer Capricorn energy for you guys in the 5th and the 11th house will be moving through and working for you, both in your employment and imbalances in your situation connected to your tribe. To get your balance back in your life. So it's directly working for you. Any questions? Yeah. In it, I'd say. Transforming and owning the power. This is really what's going on with Pisces in general. It's like, wow, you know, I've tried to be something for everybody. And this is where, if you've been in a codependent pattern, this shift this month and potentially the last 3 months is really shaking that of us, because you know, if something isn't in alignment with you and you've changed, even if you lie to yourself, it can't go on like that forever. And I feel a lot of heart chakra coming through with this Leo energy, this heart chakra activation. Although we can tune into the Lionsgate portal, I feel this whole transit's really relevant. It's very dense in the 3D. It's very old things coming up, but it's what we're going to do. And look, paradigms have been broken with Cancer energy, because look, you can be part of a connection, but how you have a connection and how another person has a connection doesn't mean to say it's correct. Being a parent, you know, our paradigm is you're a mother, it's your job. You know, some of our paradigms are, why can people who are theoretical terrible parents have children, but the people that can't not? Paradigms are paradigms, and their belief systems forgot that we're breaking down. So if something is unmanageable in a sense of a frequency, even if it was an expectation or society's conditioning, if it doesn't match and it won't balance, it won't work. So even if you took direct action, you know, and so the doors are being blocked, they're being blocked for a reason. But if you're pushing and pushing and pushing, you know, universe, your rejection is God's protection, they say. There's a reason why these doors are closed. You're missing something. You're not listening. Something's happening for a reason. Is it that you've been too focused on another individual and not healing yourself? Heal yourself. If it's meant to be, it will come towards you. You shouldn't need to fight so hard. But trust in the process, because you're being protected. Yeah, just trust that what's meant to be for you will come towards you, you know, and try and maybe find closure in everything happens for a reason. When we're not, how do I put it? Don't be so hard on yourself. Like, things do happen for a reason. And I do feel many of the feminine energies at the moment are really going through this. It's like you've got to be so many things to so many people. And if the universe takes something away, it's to give you a break. Instead of trying to get it back to put more things, you know, look at your side of the fence of what's going on in your life very separately to that one area. You know, is everything on your foundation stable enough? Have you had enough time to have you time? Have you had enough time to deal with your hopes and dreams? Everything happens for a reason. And there could be some lessons that that person on the other side of the fence is learning away from you to get them into alignment so everything flows. You've got to trust in the process. But if you want me to tune into your direct scenario, feel free to book a reading and I can tune into the energies relevant. And I will come back shortly to do that. Well, the next videos I will do, potentially it'll be within half an hour. Otherwise, it'll be tonight or tomorrow. But you'll know in a few minutes if I'm back. I'll just have a quick break. And yes, the next videos will be masculine and feminine. Love and light.